Episode of Yankee Rebelcast. Yankee Rebelcast live with you on now a total of 4 platforms. Tommy, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
What is up, everybody?
Yo, there's Tommy.
How's it going, peeps?
We are live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter X, and now Twitch. All you have to do is
baby.
Yankee Rebel Wrestlecast, and we are live. So I'm really pumped to see everything taking place this evening, and we are ready to get things going.
Yeah, Brian, how you feeling, man? It's been a
I'm
crazy
feeling
day.
good. If you guys are trying to watch the Hall of Fame and listen to us at the same time, I'm gonna pull the Tony Schiavone. I'm going to pull the Tony Schiavone in WCW when he said, "Don't go over to Raw because it's been taped. Mankind becomes the world champion." Here's a spoiler alert for you. People are getting inducted in the Hall of Fame. Spoiler alert. That's it. That's all we've got. So
you're just missing a bunch of speeches. You can watch it tomorrow. You can watch it tomorrow
on Peacock. So we have got an action-packed show lined out for you, and we need to get you guys going. The first thing that I need you guys to do is go follow us on all of our social platforms, and also make sure that you are sharing this stream that we are live right now.
Share the hell out of it. Share it
absolutely.
to everybody. Tag your mama, your grandma, your granddaddy, whoever you got to do. Just share it.
Everybody. Everybody. Bottom line. And that's the bottom line because Yankee Rebel said so.
You're damn right. I'm telling you, I'm feeling good tonight, man. It's Mania Eve. I mean, come on.
It's welcome to the greatest holiday of all time, and that is WrestleMania weekend. And I am excited. I know our background's a little shaky. We're gonna have to try to find a way to do the static backgrounds, but it looks good. I'm happy about it, and we are going to get into some action right now. We've got a full show prepared for you. Again, make sure you're sharing. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing right now as well. And I want you guys to do the same. Make sure that if you have not followed us on our Twitch, we just got Twitch started this afternoon, and we want you to go over to Twitch and add us as well at Yankee Rebel Wrestlecast. If you're on Twitter X, if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, we are excited. So if you're on our Facebook group, let us know who you are. Facebook's the only stupid part of this stream because it says ridiculous. Facebook user, but everybody else's names will pop up. So if you send us a message, tell us who you are. So that
Dustin Wolf said, hey,
it's Dustin Wolf. The Wolf Man is up in this place. You talk about a wrestling fan. I have done so many wrestling shows with this guy. That is, I can't count it on my hands. But share the stream. Tell everybody, get in here and watch Yankee Rebelcast. And we will be glad to have you guys in. But Tommy, we're going to first talk a little bit about the AEW releases, and let me get the updated list. So here is the list, and Tommy, I want to get your views on this particular situation. This is kind of the first time that AEW has had a release situation, unlike WWE that does it every year. But it looks like Jose the Assistant, Gravity, Slim J, Jorah Jal, Anthony Henry, Dasha Corrette, The Boys, Parker Bordeaux, and Stu Grayson all got released from AEW. And really the only one, because I've got a good social media relationship with Parker Bardo, and he's a great guy. I just think that every single promotion he's worked in, they have used him wrong.
True.
The only one that I'm really upset about being cut is Stu Grayson, because I love that group, and it kind of breaks my heart, because I'm like, are we ever going to see it? I mean, it wasn't the same after Brody Lee's death anyway.
Yeah.
But what are your views, Tommy? And guys, make sure if you're on Facebook, put your names in the chat, because for some stupid reason, Facebook doesn't put your name up there. So I want to know who we're talking to. Unless I go over, let me just go into Facebook. That'll make it easier. But Tommy, get your views on this. What do you think is the most relevant? What do you think is the most irrelevant releases that AEW has had?
So I kind of want to start with Parker Bordeaux because I was a fan of his back when he was in NXT and they kind of dubbed him Mini Lesnar.
Yes,
Like, I mean, you know me, I'm a big Brock Lesnar fan. I'm a fan of Parker's. He's a very talented kid. I
very
mean,
much.
very talented, very, very green though in the ring. Um, and I think it's kind of a miscarriage of justice that he's been jumping around and literally hasn't done a thing.
Yeah,
I mean, you put the right kind of person behind him, you know, the right manager, the right situation, the guy could be a star. He just has a
yes,
lot. He just got a lot of learning to do. But Stu Grayson, like you mentioned, is really the one that sticks out to me because, correct me if I'm wrong, he's an AEW original.
yeah,
He
no
he
question.
he was there with Brody from day one, and the fact that you're getting rid of a guy who's a fan favorite. I mean, I know he hasn't been on the main card in a little bit, but still, the man's talented, had a following, and to me, it's just Tony Khan being a little bit of a baby and trying to get back at CM Punk for the comments he makes to make himself feel like a boss.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But
So
yeah, what are
it,
your thoughts? Because I know you were a pretty big fan of Stu Grayson, so
I've
kind of want to
I
get your take.
I think the boys was a thing, because I think that they could have been like a top flight or even a private party for AEW, but according to the reports that I saw, they didn't even show up to work. So it's kind of like,
Yikes!
okay, if you don't show up to work, eventually somebody's going to fire you. And
Right.
it's the same way in professional wrestling. So that one I kind of understand, but some of these other folks, really, did we ever see them on anything other than AEW Dark?
No, no. I
I'm
mean
like
half.
it.
I mean half the names. Honestly, I don't even know who they are.
Yeah. So
Like, I
and
mean,
as wrestling fans, that's sad.
yeah, that's
So
really bad.
but Stu Grayson definitely, that's a big one, because he's such a good wrestler. I probably expect him in TNA here probably within the next 3 months, and he'll probably jump in and do some things with TNA. If I was going to be a guessing guy, unless Shawn Michaels picks him up for NXT, which could very well happen as well, or he'll just pull a Matt Cardona and just hit the Indies. So, which I wouldn't mind to be at an indie show where Stu shows up. But again, yeah, I mean, it's just not a Parker. I feel bad for Parker because, again, like I said, I've got a good social media relationship with him. We talk about once every 5 months or so, and he is such a good guy. He's very, very kind, and just a good dude. Anything you write to him, he'll write you back, and everything. So we may have to try to get him on the show.
Absolutely. I was even gonna say, hey, Stu Grayson, you want to come on the Yankee Rebel Wrestlecast? Give us your side of things, man.
Yeah, I agree
I would
100%.
love to hear it because while the reports may be true, I honestly wonder if there's a reason behind why he didn't show up to work. Because that'd be
Absolutely.
quite interesting to find out.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. And so that takes us to our next spot, which we're going to actually do some clips of. And it's Tommy and I have got a little bit of disagreement on this, that with Edge having a promo in AEW on Wednesday night to start the show for Dynamite. And I'm just going to go to the clip. Give me just a minute here. I just don't. It's one of those things where we are like, okay, why would we have this taking place? But let's take a listen at Edge, and let's see what Edge has to say
or not say
about AEW.
The shocking teacher versus student matchup that we had with Matt Cardona showing up. My God.
All right, now let's cede the floor to the TNT champion, the Rated R superstar himself.
I love him.
Yeah, it's just great.
I see you. So,
Whoa.
So I came out here to talk to y'all. I didn't bring my TNT championship. I came out here as Adam to talk to all of you. Everybody having fun? Good, that's what I like to hear. I came out here to have some more fun. But first, I just want to talk about something. You know, there's been a lot of negative
Feedback is the word.
A lot of feedback.
Yeah, there you go.
So corny,
TV,
it's
baby.
stupid.
But listen, there's been a lot of negative BS that has been spewed this week, right? There has. Screw that. I want to talk about positives. And if you're a fan of pro wrestling, man, it is a great time to be a fan of pro wrestling. There's a whole lot of positives right now.
True.
If you're sitting here, if you're watching at home, hell, if you can feel compelled to go on social media, even if it's just to complain about pro wrestling, you're a fan of pro wrestling. I am a fan of pro wrestling.
All right, so the video is being sluggish,
I watch WWF.
which doesn't surprise me because it's a horrible video anyway.
You're missing the point on this.
Let me
This is to
minimize it.
celebrate
Let's see if
all
that
of
helps
it.
us.
I watched NWA. I watched Stampede wrestling out of Calgary. I watched Owen Hart start his career. Pretty damn cool.
Let's see if this helps it.
I watched BC All-Star Wrestling out of Vancouver. I watched International Wrestling out of Montreal, and I devoured it all because I love professional wrestling.
All right, we get it. Get to your point, Ed.
And I know you've heard this before, but please bear with me because it's close to my heart. For 9 years, I had this torn away from me. Torn away from me. And when I finally got it back, I worked to get it back because I love it so damn much. But when I sat down and I started thinking about the end of my career, because let's face it, I'm closer to the end than the start, I realized that AEW is where I need to end my career. And a lot of people didn't seem to understand that, but I looked at the roster and I saw.
All right, so you guys get the point. You get the point.
I have been.
It's basically Edge saying that AEW is fun. AEW is great. There is nothing wrong with AEW, regardless if CM Punk and Jade Cargill and Cody Rhodes is gone. AEW is a fun place to wrestle.
Woohoo!
So, Tommy,
I'm all for fun.
I want your views on that.
Oh, dear God. Where do I begin, dude? I mean, did we really need that? Like, any of that? Like, to start off the show, you're going to go right into what CM Punk's talking about. Because we're not stupid. We know exactly what you're talking about and what you're hinting at. Like, to me, that's the difference between WWE and AEW. WWE, we're not going to bring that up. It is what it is. Refute it or not, it is what it is. We're going to move on and do what we do because we're big brother. AEW is almost like little brother, just whining, complaining, and it starts with Tony Khan. I mean, I'm a fan of his. I'm happy with how AEW has been doing, but as of lately, it just seems like it's a lot of just sour grapes and a lot of reactivity versus activity. So, in my opinion, that whole thing was just unnecessary. And if anything, Tony Khan should have come out himself and said something, not Edge.
So the only thing, and I get it, you want the face of your company to be giving this happy speech about AEW is great, AEW is the place to be. I want to retire with this company, blah 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 blah. And I'm not blaming Edge for any of that.
No.
I'm blaming the writers and I'm blaming Tony Khan because we know what AEW has been and what AEW can be again if they get back on track with what they started with.
Correct.
Yeah, you don't have Cody anymore, you don't have Punk, you don't have Jade. You may still have MJF, maybe. And there's still amazing talent in AEW. And until they get back to what they were doing beforehand, they're never going to be that company that can compete with WWE. But they have competed under the Vince regime. Now that we have the Triple H regime, things are getting more exciting. Things are happening. The Rock has come back. We've got better matches. We've got better announcers. We've got all this stuff that's taking place. But AEW just doesn't. I feel like that their game plan is like at a pause right now.
Yeah. I mean, right now they're trying to just one up them, but they're not even doing that. Like, you were much better when you were focusing on you. When you had your mission, you had your goal in mind, and said, hey, this is us, like it or not, we're here to stay. And right now, it's just, like I said, a lot of reactivity. Talking about the negatives. Well, okay, that's fine. There's going to be negatives with everything. But for you to just announce it, you're adding validity to it. You're basically saying that, oh, hey, this is true, but don't talk about that. Let's talk about the good stuff.
Yeah.
But as of late, you haven't been giving me much good stuff to talk about.
Yeah, because everything goes back straight to the Jungle Boy CM Punk incident. Jungle Boy goes to New Japan, rips up his AEW contract, and if it's it's a great thing. If it's a work,
he's a piece of shit. I'm sorry.
We talked about that last week. I mean,
he's awful.
So we had the backstage altercations, not once but twice with Punk, and Punk is a veteran, so Punk understands that you don't disrespect the veterans in the locker room. It's kind of like you're a freshman going up to a senior football player and saying, I'm better than you.
Right, and then having the backing of the principal and Tony Khan and whatever you do, because that's what it's like in the backstage. It's like the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
There's no discipline for all the originals, but for CM Punk as an outsider, he's viewed very differently because there's a negative connotation with him.
Yeah. So what does AEW have to do to at least even compete with it? I mean they're hitting like 800,000 every week. I remember, and I know you do, the days that they were hitting 1.2 million, 1.5 million, 1.8 million. and they were absolutely destroying WWE on some nights. Raw, not SmackDown, and then they were absolutely humiliating NXT. So what does AEW have to do to get back to the glory of what AEW product really is?
I mean, go back to what got you here. Your formula. You have some of the greatest wrestlers on your roster. WWE may have the bigger personalities, but in my honest opinion, AEW has the best wrestling roster. You pride yourself in emphasizing we are professional wrestlers, not sports entertainers. Go back to that. I I feel like they're trying to be something they're not right now, and that's why they're floundering.
Yeah.
And maybe if they got some external leadership to help guide them, because I feel like they're kind of just going all over the place.
Yeah. I'll agree with that.
Because and I'll end it with this: when you got Matt and Nick Jackson, the EVPs, making comments about Jack Perry as they're walking out to the ring, saying "Scapegoat, we love the work you're doing." It's like have one thing in mind. Don't like you're all having your own opinions and it's showing.
Yeah.
You're not uniform. You're just all over the place. It just seems sloppy.
WWE is now using the term pro wrestlers.
Yep.
AEW they were the first innovative company to bring in New Japan. They brought in the top talent from Japan, period.
Yep.
They've signed some of those people now. You now have Will Ospreay. You now have Danielson basically fighting every week.
Okada. You got Okada.
Yeah. So they've got to find a way to have that big match card and be able to produce like they did with the Pillars, with Britt Baker, with MJF, with Darby Allin, all of those people, and to be able to start building the foundation again. I think that they've lost focus with the foundation, and I think until that foundation is refilled, that we're going to see that up and down roller coaster that we've seen since they have lost Cody and Jade and CM Punk. So it's regardless of what anybody says, CM Punk's going to draw. I don't care if he is working in the indies, he's going to draw.
True.
Whether you love him or hate him, he's going to draw. So let's jump in and we'll talk about the CM Punk interview. Let's talk about CM Punk for a minute. And he went on Ari's show. Didn't say a lot of nice things about AEW. Actually talked about basically how trash their backstage is, how trash everything was, how he was treated and all that. And as a wrestling company, you do not need that kind of negativity coming from a guy that's jumped ship to go back to the promised land to finish out the rest of his career.
True.
So we'll touch base on that just for a minute. Do you think it was wrong of Punk to go on Ari's show and just basically talk shit about AEW?
No. I mean, they've been talking shit about him since he left. I mean, I don't fault guys for speaking their truth about a matter, especially when you've had a whole company try to blackball him from getting a job back in pro wrestling. So for me, I mean, if Ari's going to ask him the questions, man, let him answer.
Yeah.
I have no problems.
Yeah. All right. This brings me to my next AEW point, and I'm going to pull up our Twitter just so that I can show you guys this, and it's basically, is it a tease? Is it what is it? And let me find it here just for a second here. Let me zoom in on it. All right. Let me share screen here, guys. All right, so with this tweet, go ahead and read it for us, Tommy.
I mean, you start with The Rock. So I'll basically break down The Rock's tweet if you weren't able to see it. So a fan made artwork of The Rock holding Cody's bloody head.
It's actually MJF's ex-girlfriend.
Yes. MJF's ex-girlfriend made it. The Rock, bought it or whatever. The whole thing. MJF, first you steal my glorious idea to lash Cody. Now you buy crap from his ex. Please leave me be, Dewey. Like, just taunting us. Taunting us with the fact that we all talk about the bidding war of 2024 that MJF for years was mentioning.
Yes.
On AEW programming, no less. Just putting it out there that there's going to be the bidding war of 2024. And now you got the white hot Rock, who's come back, really just injected the WWE with some attitude. Much needed attitude, I might add.
Agreed.
And the fact that you got a guy who's, when he's on the mic, is equally as white hot as MJF. Even mentioning The Rock and Cody and that whole thing really gets you thinking, though. Is it possible? I mean, we've been talking about possible other family members coming into the feud in one way, shape, or form. We've talked about Austin. We've talked about John Cena. Talked about Lesnar.
So let me ask this. The things that really stretch out to me in these tweets is he comments to the Rock, first you steal my glorious idea to lash Cody. Okay, well, Cody's not been in AEW now for over a year. Yeah. So we have to look at the proof in the pudding here. You steal my glorious idea to lash Cody, which means that Cody Rhodes is still right here in the mind of MJF.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, at the end of the tweet, The Rock says, well, maybe we need to basically, in other words, then maybe I need to deliver something to Mama Friedman. And then he was like, who cares? I hate her, So it's, can or could we see MJF show up at WrestleMania on either night 1 or night 2?
I'm gonna say no. I don't think he shows up at Mania. However, I do think if he's gonna come, you're gonna see him the Raw after Mania.
You think so?
That's when I think that you would see him, because the biggest Raw of the whole calendar year, Raw after Mania. A lot of returns happen then.
So you think that if Cody finishes the story on Sunday night, he's out there first thing on Raw, he's like, oh, I finished the story and all this, and then all of a sudden the music hits.
Absolutely.
That's a pretty good prediction.
I could see that happening because, it just goes back to me in my mind. You heard the rumors when Lesnar was first coming back that he may be coming back. You have John Cena come out, and I believe he issued a open challenge, I believe. And then all you hear is that music, and the whole crowd erupted.
Yeah.
I mean, I could easily see something like that happen when MJF comes out. And Cody being Cody, oh, Max, so good to see you, man. And then just a straight kick to the balls.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I will actually agree with you on that. That would be killer. Like, I mean, the pop that would take place would be unprecedented. And
I mean,
tonight,
yeah,
you got to remember though, tonight on SmackDown tonight, Cody said, where one story ends, another even greater one begins.
Yep.
So with that, let's jump into WrestleMania. And I'm going to let's jump into WrestleMania and let's talk WrestleMania 40. And the first thing that pops out at Tommy, and you got to understand Tommy and I are fans of female wrestling.
Absolutely.
Bottom line, we love female wrestling. As a matter of fact, I didn't tell you this yet, but I was able to pick up Kairi Sane's first WWE figure today.
Hey.
And I picked up a Nia Jax as well. So
speaking of Nia Jax, I got her first figure myself.
Nice.
So,
So we're going to discuss Jade Cargill's first match ever, which, I mean, for her, it's great because it's WrestleMania. But Tommy's got some issues. And Tommy, let's air out those issues. And I've thought about it most of the day, and I've got a little bit of different opinion now. So let's hear your vent and your bitch session about Jade Cargill.
Jade Cargill is right now arguably the biggest star in the women's division, rivaling Rhea Ripley, in my opinion. And you have her in the ring with 5 other women. And she's being billed as the biggest star in this match, and she hasn't even had her first match yet. Like, Brian, I don't know if you saw, but when you saw Jade come in after Bianca and Naomi were already in the ring, they stepped to the side, and it was all Jade. I mean, Jade is the next big thing in the WWE. And the fact that they're putting her in this match, to me, I think is an absolute waste. It's an absolute waste. I mean, you might be setting her up for Bianca because Bianca's been established here. She's one of the staples in this division, so I could see it. But for me, I think it should have been one-on-one and not in a six-woman match. I think it's honestly ridiculous. Honestly ridiculous.
I'm going to finally disagree with you because I'm going to come at it as a wrestling promotion. I was in the business for many years, and how can I make Jade Cargill look amazing on the largest stage for her first match? She had to go back to the Performance Center to fix some things. I put her in basically a triple tag match, and we make her look strong. Because you got to remember, on the other side of the apron is going to be Dakota Kai, which how in the world did Dakota Kai get
My problem is you don't need to make her strong. She is who she is, and I feel like that speaks for itself.
But you do for the people that don't know who she is.
Unless you're living under a rock. How the hell you did not know who Jade Cargill is?
I actually could tell you probably 5 people that I know that never knew who Jade Cargill was until she come out of the entrance ramp. Now I think it's terrible too because she's a phenomenal person, wrestler, and all that. But here's the thing. I sound like Joe Biden every time I do that. I'm like, here's the thing. But you've got Bianca Belair, you've got Naomi, which Naomi is a veteran. You've got Bianca Belair, which is one of the hottest women wrestlers of the last 3 years. And then on the other side of the apron, you got Dakota Kai, which doesn't matter anything. Dakota, you're great, but I just can't stand you as a wrestler. But then on the other side, though, you have the Kabuki Warriors. You've got Asuka and you've got Kairi Sane as the women's tag team champions. And if you can be a part of a match and end strong, see, if I was booking this match, Tyson Kidd, Shane Helms, whoever's going to book this match, you let the Kabuki Warriors get the best of Bianca. You let them get the best of Kairi Sane and Dakota Kai. And you let them mess up Bianca and Naomi. And then Jade comes in, hits her finisher, and your first match ever in WrestleMania is a win over the tag team champions. So I myself could see either Bianca and Jade combining for tag team champions, or I could see them facing off each other after this match because Bianca gets hurt or something or beat up real bad, and then Jade saves everybody and wins the match.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It sounds like the ending of that match is almost like what I said would happen last week. Interesting. But
we're going to go to blows, bro.
regardless of all that, I know for a fact Jade's going to win. I know she's going to be a factor in how they win.
Yeah.
I just personally think I would have liked to have her have that solo stage. She's going to have the aura wherever she goes. But
Yeah.
I feel like, in my personal opinion, it would have made more of an impact to me had she faced somebody one-on-one, maybe like a Natty or somebody who's been a staple of the division.
But how many people have faced Natty that is just using Natalya as a jobber
somebody like her, somebody established.
Yeah.
To just have that one-on-one match, just have her just show how dominant she is, because at the rate they're going with this 6-woman tag match, it's literally going to be, she's going to get the hot tag and it's going to be over in a hot split second.
Yes.
I just would have liked to see a little bit more, and I know we're probably not going to get that.
But if we do get a hot tag for Jade, then it's going to be a hot tag that's going to get her over. Because when she gets in the ring, she starts clotheslining, she starts doing all kinds of power moves and lifting people over her head and all that. Then the people that don't know who Jade Cargill is going to be able to say, wow, this lady is strong. Man, she might be better than Bianca Belair.
Which she is.
Well, we both know that. But
yeah.
But let's jump on to the finish to Raw, and then we'll be doing a closeout with SmackDown. But let's talk about the finish to Raw. I think that it's a little different scenario than what happened on SmackDown tonight. You actually had Cody and Seth in the ring, and they just absolutely got the shit beat out of them by Roman and The Rock.
The dog shit whipped.
Yes.
Just over and over and over.
How much blood is going to be on that belt?
I would be surprised if every member in that tag match didn't shed something. You've already seen the writing on the wall when it comes to the Great One, when it comes to Roman Reigns. This story, it's going to be a bloody one.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll agree with that. And it's the ending of Raw was great. I felt like that it produced a dominance for Roman and the final boss. And I think that it's a lot different scenario than what happened tonight. And we'll get to that because you might be able to get one up on Jimmy and Solo, but you're not going to get one up on Roman and The Rock like that. It's just not going to happen. Let's go ahead and talk about which the video was sluggish. I don't want to do that shit again. We'll get that figured out as to why there was some buffer delay on that. But I heard the audio fine. It's just the buffering of the video was crap. But let's talk about, and Tommy, you watched this video very in-depthly. and that was the Rock and Roman Jimmy Fallon interview.
Right. Yeah, so for those of you who didn't watch that, The Rock and Roman laid out what the future of this whole thing could potentially be. Because if you listen to The Rock carefully, he was talking about Cody Rhodes, he was talking about The Rock, talking about Roman, and said there could only be one. And then he said you got the tribal chief and you got the final boss. And then they went on to talk about some other things, but I need you to focus on that part right there. Because The Rock just hinted there can only be one. And he's talking about you, Roman.
Yeah.
He's talking about there can only be one alpha in this family. There can only be one tribal chief, one high chief in this family. And The Rock's letting you know it's him. So, while many of you may not watch it because it's Jimmy Fallon, it's one of those promotional things for Mania. I'm telling you, this Triple H regime, you gotta watch out because they're giving you these little Easter eggs as to what's possibly going to come down the pipeline.
Yeah.
And something like that is just one of those little nuggets that, okay.
All right. So now I want our viewers involved with this as well. Guys, we have a chat for a reason. Make sure that you are being active in this. We are actually going to do rapid fire of where we're just going to tell you who we think is going to win the WrestleMania matches for night 1 and 2.
Brian, I want to start with this. I want to start with this match because I'm really intrigued. Mommy and Becky.
Yeah.
I
totally, Mommy for sure. Mommy's always going to stay on top.
Absolutely, man. I couldn't agree more.
So night 1 so far is looking like this. We have Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Dominic and Santos Escobar. I personally have got Dominic and Santos Escobar because I think at some point Carlito is going to come in and mess this match up because he wasn't chosen over Dragon Lee.
Yeah, I agree. I think Dom is too hot as a heel, and I think Santos is getting built as a heel, and I just think that Rey and Dragon Lee really don't have a shot in hell.
I agree with that. We just talked about this match. Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi versus Damage Control. I do have the team of Jade, Bianca, and Naomi as the winner of this match.
Yep. I, again, agree. I think Jade's going to come off at the end and have her big WrestleMania, her first WrestleMania moment of many, I predict, and take care of Damage Control.
Bearded Dog said that Dom wins that match against Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee. Deanna said that Jade gets it big time as well. And this is where we talked last night during our production meeting. Oh, Bearded Dog's got Damage Control. See, I'm okay with that because I love Damage Control other than Dakota Kai. So, Bearded, why do you think Damage Control is gonna win that match? This is some bullshit he's on tonight.
Oh yeah. Bearded, I just gotta ask you, what strain are you on tonight? Because seriously, I don't know what you're smoking. Damage Control too hot? No, I don't think so. They're hot garbage, yes. But
see, I can't say that about them, man. I mean, the Kabuki Warriors are the shit, dude.
They are. But when you got Damage Control, you got Dakota in there, and that's where you lose me.
Yeah.
The Kabukis by themselves, love them.
Hey, I appreciate you jumping in on that, Bearded Dog. That's awesome.
Hot take. It's a hot take for sure.
Yep. So this is where me and Tommy are gonna go to blows. The next match will be Jimmy Uso versus Jey Uso, brother versus brother. I've got Jimmy winning this match.
I don't know why. I have Jey Team Yeet winning this match.
No yeet. No yeet. No
Yeet.
yeet.
Yeet. That's what it's gonna be. That's what it's gonna be.
And I go ahead, because I'm gonna punch you through the TV screen.
Okay. All right, short arms. All right. So when we're talking about Jay and Jimmy here, I want this match at its core to be one-on-one. As much as Solo was probably going to interfere, I feel like this needs to be settled mano a mano at WrestleMania.
What happens though if we see Rikishi come in and causes a problem for one of them?
Well, then, like I said last week, I think it's going to be one of those swerves where Rikishi, for 90% of his career, was a good guy. I think he's going to side with the Bloodline on this one. And take out Jay.
And Jay has been so hot. Why can't we give Jimmy a win? And let's also face it too. What kind of matches have we seen in the past where, because night one is loaded. I think night one's got too many matches. What if we see a Hogan Kevin Nash, we see a Hogan Jeff Jarrett where he just falls in the middle of the ring and lets him pin him?
That, honestly, I would be oddly okay with that. Because it's not something that WWE has ever done.
Yeah.
Like, that would be unprecedented, especially if it's like, you know, hey, Cody's like, man, I got Jay, I got Seth, and just you start to see his foundation crumbling.
Yeah.
I think would set up perfectly for night two for that match.
It'd be a huge swerve, dude. Huge
Absolutely.
swerve. And Bearded Dog's like, who cares on this match? He's never been a Uso fan. Robert in our Facebook said that Jay is going to win. Bearded Dog said the Usos are over, like done.
Really?
So, but I still think to have a successful finish to the Bloodline story, you've got to have Jay back in the Bloodline.
Yeah, I mean, I vehemently disagree with Bearded Dog. I don't think the Usos are over at all. If anything, to me, I honestly think the New Day are over.
Yeah.
As in done.
Now, yeah. I mean, Jay's over right now because he's got this Team Yeet thing that's going on and people waving their arms and all that stuff and in the, you know, and all that jazz. But I think that Jay is eventually going to make that move because let's face it, he was sent over to Raw to become a champion, and that has not happened. It's not happening.
No, unfortunately not. And I mean, like, we'll get into, you know, why I think it would have been interesting to see him defeat Gunther, even though I didn't think it was going to happen. You know, the fact that he's that hot, you didn't put him over, you know, I guess in term kind of says something.
All right, so let's move on to the next match, and that is the six-pack challenge ladder match for the tag team championships. We have DIY versus Awesome Truth versus New Day versus the New Catch Republic versus Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, and again versus the champions Finn Balor and Damian Priest, the Judgment Day. I know that we disagree on this one as well to a certain extent. I actually have DIY winning this match and becoming the new tag team champions.
Yeah, I'm actually going to change my pick on this one because just watching, you know, Raw and SmackDown and kind of just thinking it over, definitely the cracks are definitely showing. Oh, Bearded Dog, shut up. Miz and R-Truth, you need to sober up because you are just utterly ridiculous right now.
They are ex-tag team champions.
Yeah, 10 years ago when they actually had relevance. I mean, no. See, I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna go DIY. I think they deserve it, and I think it's their time.
Yeah, and Triple H is a big DIY fan.
Yes.
And him and Shawn Michaels built a dynasty around them in NXT. When they turned on each other, they turned that into one of the greatest matches to me in NXT history, if not the greatest match of NXT history.
Yeah, they had a great rivalry, but I think as much as greater they are as rivals, I think they're even better together.
Yeah.
And I think the DIY train can start rolling again as they start to reestablish that tag team division on the main roster.
Gotcha. Next match, probably the most irrelevant match of the evening, and that's even over the Rey Mysterio match. And that is going to be the Intercontinental Championship match. Gunther, the champion, versus Sami Zayn, Sami Crybaby Zayn, that I need a WrestleMania match because it's my time still. And I won the tag team championships last year over the Usos, and I need a match, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to do that. So...
yeah, it's Gunther, and more Gunther. And, I mean, at this point, the fact that Sami Zayn is in this position fighting against WWE's Terminator at this point, like, that just tells you how far from grace he has really fallen. Because he doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell of not getting his chest completely caved in and his pride destroyed.
I'm doing the Imperium stance right now.
Yes.
So here's the swerve, though, and we'll talk about the swerve for a second, is the fact that I think Brock Lesnar plays a role in this match because, again, we saw physical proof that Lesnar is on the WrestleMania truck. If he's not going to be at WrestleMania, they would not put him on that truck.
No, because that's a brand new truck.
Yeah.
That is a brand new truck. And if you're going to put him on there, like I said, the Easter eggs, people, you got to pay attention to these small little details. He'll be here in some capacity. But could it be this match? Could it be the Cody one? Because I saw a stat today when I was just scrolling through my news feed that Brock Lesnar is the only person to defeat The Rock, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. All four of them. So you could have a potential to come into that match too. We don't know where he's going to come in. Got a couple avenues, and this could be one of them, given the match that they would have had at Mania if not for Vince.
And that's what we wanted. And which I don't understand Vince's thing because they're both big guys. Vince loved big guys. And we never got the match. Instead, we get friggin' Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar for the 17th time.
Yeah, I mean, that was good to see once, maybe twice. But after that, you could tell the way they were having Lesnar wrestle is not, for me personally, how I wanted to see it happen. Because we all know Lesnar can wrestle.
Yes. He sucks on the mic, but he can wrestle.
I don't know. He's not
Come
bad
on,
on the mic.
man.
He's not bad on the mic when they actually let him talk. When they actually let him talk.
What in the Hank Williams Jr. is that gimmick anyway?
Hey, everyone likes Cowboy Brock. Don't you hate on him.
I like the Beast Incarnate, bro. I like the Beast Incarnate.
Oh, I agree.
I think Farmer John, that him taking that tractor out there and pulling the ring up when he was fighting Roman was the stupidest thing, because all they were doing was copying Stone Cold with the beer truck and the Zamboni and all that stuff, and it was like, oh, we're gonna pull an Attitude Era on you, and they could barely get up underneath it to get the ring to move up. It took them like 3 tries to get it underneath it, But I think that Lesnar could play a role in this match. Robert said, "Who cares on this one? They're both overplayed." And so, let's see what Bearded Dog says. Bearded Dog said Brock will be after Seth. Understand they're going to need to separate Seth, Cody, and Jimmy and the Bloodline haters, because the bloodline is done at Mania for now. I got to disagree with you, Bearded. I think the bloodline gimmick and the bloodline story is just beginning.
Yeah. I mean, especially with all the signings that have taken place recently, there's a pipeline in their family. They keep coming.
And we still haven't got Rock and Roman yet.
No, and that is inevitably what's going to happen. I mean, could it be SummerSlam? Is it going to be pushed to maybe next year's Mania for one of the main events?
Yeah.
Because, obviously there's been rumors that after this, The Rock's going to go back to shooting a movie, which highly possible, and I can see happening. But you can't tell me
what's he going to do? Moana 2? I mean, like, Jesus Christ, man.
Quite possibly, but yeah, this ain't over until they say it's over, and there's still too much they can do with this.
I agree with that. Bearded Dog says Bloodline's dead, and so I mean we'll see. I'll actually be at his house this weekend, so if we're out in the front yard fighting, then you know what's up. Well, so to finish night one, we have Cody and Seth versus The Rock and Roman. Rock and Roman are going to win this match because there is going to be an absolute all-hell brawl on night 2 of WrestleMania.
Absolutely. I don't see a world where this doesn't happen because you got to allow the possibility for anything to happen. And for that to happen, bloodline rules.
Stone Cold, John Cena, all on the side of that WrestleMania truck. Now, some people will be like, oh, it's a WrestleMania truck. It just shows that they were part of WrestleMania in the past and all that. Dude, it's never happened. It's never happened that they do the graphics like that on the WrestleMania truck.
No.
No. All right, let's talk night 2 on Sunday of WrestleMania. And has anybody shared our stream by any chance?
I know I have. I know you have.
So night 2 is going to be Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus the Final Testament in a Philadelphia street fight.
Woohoo!
I kind of like this match, just because I love the Final Testament. I'm glad that Paul Ellering is back. And granted that AOP is not the Road Warriors, but Karrion Kross is very over right now.
You think so?
I do.
Because in my honest opinion, lately anything Karrion Kross touches just dies slowly. And unfortunately, I feel like this is going to be one of them. I mean, where do they go after this? I mean, Paul Ellering, I feel like, should have more of a presence than he does currently. I feel like he needs to be speaking more. He needs to be getting involved more. Because right now he just seems like a sidekick, and I don't like that look for him.
Well, and Paul in NWA and even which they really didn't have Ellering in WWE, but in NWA, he was the mouthpiece until Hawk and Animal learned how to do promos. And I think if you give Paul Ellering the chance for like a Kevin Sullivan role, the Dark Master over this mysterious Mystique group, then I think that's the direction. Because, I mean, let's face it, we had all kinds of mysterious managers back in NWA and WCW. And, I mean, we even had Kevin Nash as the Wizard, or Oz. So it's, there's all kinds of things that we can see coming out of this that would be positive. And I like the fact that maybe this is setting up that Triple H will introduce trio titles in WWE.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing's out of the realm. I mean, you got the fucking Prime logo and the PLE thing, which don't even get me started with that.
Let's not start with Logan Paul tonight.
But I mean, he's breaking the proverbial mold. So would it surprise me if they have them at some point? No, I think it's needed and give some fresh life to those teams who don't really have an identity like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Probably one of the matches next that is going to steal the entire WrestleMania show, LA Knight versus AJ Styles.
Yeah.
You've got the against the best hair in wrestling. So I've got LA Knight on this because LA Knight has got to have a push coming out of Mania to get his first title. It's got to happen now or it's never going to happen.
I mean, yeah, because then you'll just be another one of those guys who got super hot, super over, and fizzled out, and you'll probably go back to Max Dupree at this point. Because
God, no.
I know I don't want it as much as you do. I'm just saying, if they keep it up and they keep going down this path of kind of he goes up, up, and down, up, up, down, eventually it's going to crash. And I don't want that to happen. So he needs to come out of this hot. He needs to go after the United States champion. He needs to win a title this year.
I will again agree with that 150,000%. Give me just a second. Our next thing we're going to talk about is this fucking moron.
Oh, just get don't. Oh, we're showing him. Oh, sweet Jesus.
My God.
I think this is a new low. Logan Paul is a standing image on our screen.
Oh my God. It's like I have to look at it because I want to hate him more than what I already do. It's like that face is so punchable. Like
it is.
Like I would literally like to just punch him right in the face.
And I think you want to punch Bearded Dog after the comment he just made.
Oh God, let's see.
You love him.
Buddy, let me tell you, you know my views on this. And I cannot stand this guy. I don't care how athletic he is. It is absolutely the stupidest thing that WWE has ever done. Well, maybe other than bringing in some of the other talent that they brought in from MMA. But this is one of the stupidest things they have ever done in their life, and that is bring this tool. He is a tool. A marketing genius, but he is a tool.
He is. He is. I mean, who doesn't want to look at his face and just want to slap the piss off his face?
Bearded Dog said he's the prime minister.
Funny.
I just vomited inside my throat, bro. I'm just going to let you know that.
Laugh. All I'm going to say is this about Logan Paul. Well, actually, no, two things. One, the fact that Triple H in an interview made a comment that he always sees him carry his prime but never sees him drinking it.
Because it tastes like shit.
Exactly.
My son even called me today and was like, "Hey, Dad, at work, we've got 20% off of Prime." I'm like, "Good. Take that shit and pour it out."
Oh, my God. It's awful.
I literally hate this guy worse than any wrestler I've ever hated in my life. I would rather go back and relive 1996 with Hogan turning on WCW 1,000 times over as a child than I would to root for this smirky son of a bitch.
Well, I'll say this to all our viewers. If you hate Logan Paul as much as we hate Logan Paul, please go buy our shirt.
Absolutely.
Buy that shirt.
We have just produced our first shirts, and I'm going to go and pull it up for you.
Yeah, take this shitty image off of our screen.
Yeah, I've got to take this crap off of here.
I can't.
I'm sick of looking at this guy. Give me just a moment. We are going to. All right, so let me zoom in. All right, let's see. This is Well, let me go to the screen here. We'll put it up here with us on the side. This is the first ever Yankee Rebel Wrestlecast t-shirt. We have got plenty more coming. But if you hate Logan Paul as much as I do, I'm going to plead with you all just like they do on TV with the Sarah McLachlan videos. Buy this fucking shirt. Because we need like 15,000 of these sold so that people can walk around, and if I see you wearing this shirt, I'm gonna high five you because I hate Logan Paul. So the cool part about this shirt is it's gonna say hashtag Logan Paul sucks on the front. You've got a lot of different colors. The cool thing is on the back of the shirt, it's got our logo on it.
You damn right.
And it's under the price of a going to a merch table and buying a wrestling t-shirt at merch, and plus you get to support the Logan Paul sucks movement. And that's what I'm going to call it moving forward. Next week I will have mine on and I will wear it proudly.
Yeah, I have mine coming. Whenever it comes in, I will wear that on the next podcast.
I am posting this in chat. If you guys want to purchase this, I want you guys to do this. I'm actually going to go into our chat as well on Facebook, and I'm posting it in there. $25.47. That's all you got to pay for this excellence.
It is the excellence of shirticution. Let's go.
So there you go. There is the we're going to be releasing new shirts very periodically, but this is the greatest shirt that you will ever wear in your life because it says Logan Paul sucks on the front of it. Logan Paul sucks.
Say it one more time.
Logan Paul sucks.
Thank you. Enough of that prick.
All right, so let's move on to the next match. Again, you've got the link on Twitch and YouTube. You have the link in Facebook. We've got it spread everywhere, but that is the first shirt. It's got hashtag Logan Paul sucks, and it has our logo on the full back of the t-shirt. So that's the best way that you can support our stream. But let's talk about this dumbass match. Triple threat match for the United States Championship. Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens versus the tool bag, Logan Paul. And I've got Kevin Owens winning this match because I think Randy Orton has got to go for a world championship. And that's Kevin Owens has got to retain that because he made that title relevant.
True. I echo your sentiment. I think it's going to be KO Mania. I think he's going to come out with this win and send Logan Paul back to watch his brother get the shit beat out of him by Mike Tyson. So it's a perfect going away present. It's perfect.
Look at Bearded Dog. Bearded Dog just bought the shirt. Let's go. Let's go.
Get the support, baby.
Yeah. That's right. We got people with the Logan Paul sucks movement taking place right now. Let's freaking go.
It's growing as we speak. It's growing as we speak.
And we've also got more shirts coming, but this one is the greatest one on the planet right now. There is no question that Logan Paul sucks is going to be a worldwide movement.
It is. And if you think that shirt's going to be good, take a look at our socials. We posted a hint about what the next one could be.
Wait a minute. What is this?
Oh.
Is that Too Sweet? What faction did Too Sweet?
I don't know.
Was it one that also said For Life? Okay.
Woo!
Anyway, all right. So let's just stay tuned with it. Yankee Rebel Wrestlecast is going to be worldwide, folks. So you're part of the start movement of this crazy mess. All right, let's talk about a match that I am really, really excited about. and that is the World Heavyweight Championship match, Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins, but with CM Punk as special guest commentator.
It's going to be one of the best matches just because of that element. But I'm going to go with a pick that you're not going to expect me to go with.
Okay.
And it's none of the above.
Oh, you're going to pull the wild card on me, aren't you?
Senor Money in the Bank is going to cash in his briefcase.
On Seth Rollins.
Yep. He's going to cash in, and he's going to become your World Heavyweight Champion. Because honestly, what better time than now? I mean, the Judgment Day is already crumbling. If we're saying that they're going to lose their tag team titles, but Damian gets that, you think Finn's not going to have a problem with that?
Yeah, Bearded agreed, but man, he hates Damian Priest.
I mean, he's definitely grown on me. I wasn't a huge fan of him. He's definitely grown on me since being in the Judgment Day. However, I think this is the perfect time because Damian Priest finally gets rid of the Money in the Bank briefcase, so they don't have to kick that can down the road anymore. And yeah, Bearded Dog, I do agree. Punk could get involved. And I think that's going to kick off the feud between McIntyre and Punk that we're all highly anticipating.
Okay.
Because I think Punk's ahead of schedule, and he's not saying it.
Here is my view on this. I'm agreeing with you that Damian Priest does the cash in. But I think that he's going to pull a Baron Corbin, and he's not going to get the strap. And I think that CM Punk is going to get involved with this, and Drew is going to win with a Claymore, and Drew McIntyre will be your new world champion.
Interesting. I did not see that coming. However, I could respect that.
Yeah, I think that we're going to see him not get the cash in.
Yeah, it's funny. We mentioned, all of the different ways it could go, but to me, this match is so hard to ping. Even more so than, the Undisputed Championship match to me. I think this match really could go a number of ways. And it'll be really telling who wins where the story is going to be going.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's move on to our next match, and that is going to be the WWE Women's Championship match, Bayley versus Io Sky. We're both in agreement with this. Bayley. She has to become relevant again, and the only way she does that is with a championship.
Correct. And down with Damage Control.
No, man, don't do that to Damage Control. They blew kisses
Bayley
to me and my brother at a house show. It was great.
Hey, I thought no bias. Kisses aside, you know damn well that Bayley started Damage Control and she will end it.
Oh my God. No, I think Dakota Kai's going to end it because she's destroying it. But anyway, all right, and then the final match. The undisputed WWE Universal Championship match, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. The stipulation to be decided after night one main event. Who wins if we have bloodline rules anticipated for this match?
I have never been more torn about this match than I am right now. Mainly being because we all want Cody to finish that story because we think it opens up some endless possibilities. However, have we thought about it in the sense that Roman's been doing this 40 years straight and he hasn't lost? There's got to be a world where that's possible. That, that actually happens.
All right, so Bearded Dog just said that is where you see Cena and Stone Cold.
See, to me, if you're doing that, it's got to be like I don't necessarily want the cavalcade of people coming out. You got to give me probably one of them. However, as much as I'm kind of hemming and hawing about it, I'm going to go with Cody, knowing that I'm probably going to somehow be wrong and they'll give it to Roman and he'll be champion until 2060 like they say in all the memes. But I'm going to go with Cody.
I think with Roman being champion as long as he has, I think that we will. Here's my prediction, and this is going to kind of blow you away. Yes, we're going to see the bloodline get involved. Yes, we're going to see some other superstars we haven't seen in a long time get involved. But I think The Rock is going to cost Roman this match. And Cody will finish the story. And we will set up Roman versus Rock. And then we will set up Cody versus somebody. And we'll set up Drew McIntyre versus Punk. And we will see a turning of the tide for the landscape of WWE after night 2 of WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. I think the best way to have it end is how you mentioned it, having The Rock cost Roman the match. But
Yes.
to me, but in my opinion, if that happens, I don't think you need to have Stone Cold and Cena and any of them come into this because.
But why not?
Well, because I don't think you need it. As much as they've been anticipating, if you go down that route, what sense would it make to have them come out to try to end it just to have The Rock end it? If you're going to do that, just have The Rock come out and end it. The final boss gets the final word. And if that's how it's going to happen, I think it's got to be that.
Okay. I'm kind of interested in that. That's kind of interesting, Tommy. I'm not going to lie.
Because
it is the biggest WrestleMania, though, Tommy. How much bigger would it be if we had Stone Cold, Cena? I mean, if the place would go, the roof would blow off of in Philadelphia. You're an Eagles fan. Do you guys have a roof? You're a Philadelphia
No, we do
fan.
not. No, we do not.
Okay.
I think they're building one of those dome things over top, like they did for I think it was the one where Rock and Cena wrestled in New York, New Jersey. I think it's, but being it's going to be billed as the biggest WrestleMania of all time, and you have all those Easter eggs. If you're going to have them involved in the match in some way, I don't think you have The Rock stray away from what he's doing. My thing is what you do is when you're ready to set up that Roman versus Rock match, what you're going to have to do is then when The Rock comes back, he literally has to just say, Roman, it's your fault. Where our family is right now is your fault. You saw where I took us, and look what you did. You failed us. Something along those lines to where then you get The Rock to turn back into the people's champion.
Yeah.
And that's where I can see that getting set up.
Yeah. So Robert said, I think Cody has to take it. Roman is going to move toward retirement before long, and Cody finishes story and solidifies face of WWE for time, just being just a thought pattern I've had.
I mean, definitely not out of the realm. I think he may take a break. I think he's definitely probably leaning towards Hollywood at some point, but I also think, he's mentioned in interviews that I think he plans on doing this for at least another 10 years.
Yeah.
So I think he definitely takes a long hiatus, maybe to like SummerSlam-ish time. I mean, he deserves it. So I think he'll definitely take some time off. I don't know if he's going to leave, though.
And here's my question, is when Roman takes the hiatus, does CM Punk become a Paul Heyman guy again?
Time will tell, man. Time will tell.
It's clobbering time.
It sure is. It sure the hell is.
So there's something we got to look at too. And I do want to mention next week we are going to, according to my calendar, we'll be live at 7. I forgot I had to go see. I didn't forget, but I've had got to go see Godzilla and Kong with my kids tonight.
Dude, how was it?
It was one of the best movies I've ever watched. It has everything anybody could ever want in a movie.
You're making me want to go see it now, dude.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And but I want to remind you guys, next week we are going to have a special guest on the Yankee Rebel Wrestlecast, and let me pull that graphic up for you.
I'm excited. Our first guest on the show, man.
We will have Mr. Aaron Rose on our show. Well, let me put it on the right side of the graphic here. Aaron Rose is a ring announcer, commentator, and producer. I have worked in PWF with Aaron Rose. He was on color commentating when I was actually a ring announcer. He has been the voice of UK hockey. He has done everything that you could possibly imagine. He has announced some of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and we are going to get his views on WrestleMania. We are going to allow him to talk about some of the shows that he's going to be a part of coming up. And he's been ring announcer for New South Wrestling. I mean, this guy has done it all in professional wrestling. And I love this guy. He's one of my favorite people in the world. And he taught me everything that I know about ring announcing. So I'm truly excited that Aaron is going to be with us next week. So it's going to be really cool for that. But so stay tuned. We're going to be promoting that part of the show for next week because Aaron will be here, and we're going to get his views over what he thought about WrestleMania. What we're going to talk about the Raw after WrestleMania. We may even try to talk a little bit about Stand and Deliver for NXT, which is basically a yawn right now. And I also want to bring up another thing before we do our closing thoughts, our Jerry Springer part of the episode. Is it bad that we don't have Tiffany Stratton in WrestleMania right now?
Yeah, I definitely do, because you saw the Tiffy movement, especially when they had the Elimination Chamber, and we all thought that she was going to win that. Didn't happen. The man happened, which further pisses me off. But, yeah, the fact that she kind of was pushed, and now it's kind of stalled a little bit, and they're bringing her back with vignettes, which is honestly stupid to me at this point.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely a loss.
Yeah.
On the Mania card.
Well, let's do a rapid fire of SmackDown, and just talk a little bit about what happened on SmackDown tonight. I'm going to avoid the KO show and all that stuff and go straight into the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which used to be relevant.
Yeah, it's a joke.
And we had Bronson Reed win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I'm not a fan of Bronson Reed. I just think he's another Otis with maybe a meaner demeanor. There we go, meaner demeanor.
I mean, I wouldn't go far as to say he's another Otis. I think he's a very athletic big man.
He is,
but his identity is where you lose me, because honestly, like Eric from the Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar, they were hot, but the whole Viking persona thing, it's losing me a little bit. And with Bronson Reed, he doesn't have that character to really make you really give a shit about him at all.
It's like, how many more big guys are we going to have in singlets come to the ring and wrestle, and they have no character development whatsoever?
And it's just
that's it. It's it.
Woohoo!
I mean, AEW's done the same thing to Wardlow. And we on the boat, the Jericho cruise, we sat right next to Wardlow for breakfast, and he's one of the best guys on the planet, man.
Oh, dude, I got a Wardlow story. When AEW came to Rochester the second time.
That's in your Yankee town of New York, right?
Sure is. Yeah, Brody country, baby. Proud Brody country. Wardlow came there. We were up right by where the wrestlers were coming in and parking. He literally stood there, took pictures with anybody who wanted one, signed everyone's autographs, and didn't care. And that was the night that he won the TNT title, his first title, and that was such a cool moment. He's such a great guy. Wish him nothing but the best, but yeah, I don't like where he's going right now.
Yeah, I'm just tired of big guys wearing singlets. We need some character development. We have, like, AEW has too good of riders. They got Jerry Lynn, they've got Dean Malenko, they've got all kinds of people.
Put on some pants.
Put on some pants.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the ladies like it when he takes the straps down and he shows his big muscles and all that stuff, but I'm like, let's get some character development rolling. And then we'll talk about the mixed tag match of Zelina Vega with, well, basically it was a female match with Rey Mysterio with Zelina Vega, and Santo Escobar was with Elektra Lopez. How much more burying can you do to Zelina Vega before she starts understanding that she is irrelevant to women's wrestling in WWE than she could ever think about?
Yeah,
and I love her. I love her.
Yeah,
she is a great performer. She has a personality. She comes out dressed as anime characters. She does all kinds of the things that you want your women wrestlers to do. But dude, every week she gets another shovel full of dirt put on top of her.
Well, I honestly think, and you kind of hit it on the head with the anime characters and her outfits. She'd honestly be better off in New Japan because they actually appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. You appreciate it. WWE, I don't think, really gives two shits about it, but I know the New Japan fans would love it.
Yes.
They would eat that up. But yeah, she had her crowning moment when they were in Puerto Rico. That was probably her time. She had her big match, and now she is in the LWO that just is growing as much as the shitty NWO did towards the end. So
it's a good point. It's like, oh, who do we have in the NWO? Oh, we have Virgil. We have Scott. What's his face?
We got Ted
Scott Norton, and all that. So
here's how it goes down. There's no more time for running.
Got to hear from the man.
Time for crying. So go ahead and grab your crying towel, dummy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do that, because ever since it came back, all you've been doing is crying about me. And what you should be doing, you should be thanking me.
Thank you.
Should be down at the altar of LA Knight. Because whenever I put the boots to you, I actually get people talking about you. I actually make you interesting. Well, Sunday night, I'm going to give them plenty to talk about. Because I'm not just going to put the boots to you.
That pink jacket was fire.
Give you the hard way as I boot you straight through the uprights like Jake Elliott.
Yeah, baby. Eagles Nation, baby.
Philadelphia, the whole damn world will know whose game this is with everybody saying,
LA Knight. Yeah. Dude.
And that's it. And that is what I want to see. I want to see LA Knight get his due deserve. He's the hottest thing on the mic right now, other than The Rock. That is where we got to go. I want everybody that is tuned in, I want you guys to have a great WrestleMania and enjoy it. Get with the people that love wrestling as much as you do, and let's treasure this moment. This is a holiday for me and my family. We go all out, and I think that this is going to be a great Mania. There's really not a huge crappy match on any of the cards. There's a few that you could debate, but I think that we're going to see some great matches, some great wrestling, and it's going to be a fun weekend.
Absolutely, man. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I probably won't be able to sleep much, as you probably can understand. But man, am I excited, man. We're finally here. We are finally here.
All right. So, Tommy, I'm going to allow you to give your closing statements. We're going to do the Jerry Springer version, not the Maury version, because that just gets a little too personal. But baby, don't look like me. So, Tommy, we want to get your final thoughts, and then I'll give my final thoughts for the night.
All I'm going to say is this. Whatever you do, Triple H, if you're watching, send Logan Paul back where he came from, which is outside of the WWE. We don't need that walking, talking, prick-ass piece of shit on this programming anymore. Just as much as we don't need to see Mike Tyson fight his brother, which Mike Tyson's going to whoop that ass all over the place.
Oh, we need to see that.
I mean, yeah, we might. But the time for all that shit is over. You got a roster, use them. I get you signed him. Use him for promotional stuff. I don't want to see him in the ring anymore. I really don't. It does nothing for me. All you're doing is bringing the little tweeny girls in to watch wrestling, and it's really just to watch Logan Paul. I don't want him in this anymore. He don't deserve it. He's done nothing to earn it. I think he's stealing the spot from other people that honestly deserve it more than he does.
What else you got?
One more thing. If LA Knight does not win this match, or if LA Knight does not win a championship in the year 2024, this company is going to be in for a rude awakening, because you're on the verge of creating another Ryback.
Ooh, God. Can you leave that alone?
I might, but I have to bring it up in this instance alone, okay? Back in the day before Ryback was so cringy as he is now, he was one of the hottest things going.
Yeah.
And he got his push derailed, killed, never to be the same. We've already seen LA Knight almost killed. Yeah. Yeah. We've seen him almost buried already. I don't want to see it again. I'm afraid of what could happen in the LA Knightless WWE. And I don't want to have to live through that, Brian. I really don't.
I agree with that. I agree with you. I loved him as Eli Drake in TNA. I've watched him in NWA. I love LA Knight, but I'm going a different route for my final thoughts. You guys love my pen. It makes me look fucking smart. Logan Paul, you can suck these nuts. I hate you with every bearing of my entire soul, and I will take that to my grave. I hate you. I literally hate you. I don't want to fight you. I want somebody to hurt you. I'm too old to fight fair, so I can't do that anymore. But I hate Logan Paul with every bearing inside of me. I hope somebody clips this and sends it to him.
Please do.
I don't know how social influencers become pro wrestlers. The only thing I will say nice about Logan Paul is he is athletic. but you are not Shawn Michaels. You are not the next Hall of Famer. And if they put him in that position, I will never watch the Hall of Fame ever again. Mark that shit off. Mark that shit off my list. The next thing I want to do, I want to give a shout out to Cash Flow, the ex-OVW world champion. He and I had a great conversation the other day, and we went back to some of my old wrestling days of when I was refereeing a tag match for the PWF championship, and I unfortunately got pushed by Bobby Blade, Kentucky Hall of Famer, and then I got hit 4 times with a kendo stick by Cash Flow, and we talked about those kendo stick marks, and it was the most obliterating pain I think I've ever went through in my life. So, Cash Flow,
and I mean,
go ahead.
I was gonna say you're still feeling those, right? Like deep
in my soul,
inside of your
in my soul,
yeah.
because he's a big ass dude, and he can swing a kendo stick very, very hard. So, and for those of you that says, oh, well, they've got, it's just thin sticks. Those thin sticks catch air. And if you ever got whipped with a paddle in school, because I'm old enough to remember that, they put holes in the paddles. Why did they do that? Because it catches air and it makes it hurt worse. So if y'all think that wrestling is fake, then this is the wrong fucking podcast for you. But anyway, and then I'm laying out a challenge. Holy shit, bro. This is going to blow your fucking mind. The more that you and I talked about Dave LaGreca from Busted Open Radio. All right.
That wearing pile of...
I love Bully Ray. Bully Ray, I love you, dude. You are a mentor to me.
Hardcore 5150, baby.
Because you do not pull punches. You go straight for the abdomen, and I love you for that. Mark Henry, I love you, buddy. Tommy Dreamer, I've met you, and I love you, buddy. But Dave LaGreca, I am so tired of your shit. I'm tired of the pink robe and being a Cody crybaby. The Rock is and all this stuff. Dave LaGreca, next year at WrestleMania, I am challenging you to a one-on-one match. I'm gonna get in shape, and I'm going to give you the hardest Stone Cold Stunner you have ever had in your life. Because I'm tired of his gimmick. I'm actually putting Dave LaGreca in the same category I put Dave Meltzer. So Dave LaGreca, I know you're too popular and you're too big time on your Sirius XM. But Rebel Brian is coming for you next year at WrestleMania. I'll get a belt, a Yankee Rebel and a Busted Open belt, and whoever wins that match gets to hang on to that belt. And I'm probably going to get hate mail from all the Busted Open people and all that. But Dave, stop with the stupid ass gimmicks. I can cut a promo, baby. I can sit right there. If you want a Dusty Rhodes promo, that's right, Daddy. I've wined and dined with kings and queens. I feasted on alley and pork and beans, Daddy, if you will. I can do an Ultimate Warrior one. Hulk Hogan, there is no pilot in the plane. You know, I can do whatever you need to do. Macho Man. Oh, yeah. Macho Madness. You know, whatever you need me to do, Dave LaGreca. But don't puss out on a match with Rebel Brian from Yankee Rebel Wrestlecast. I'm coming for you, LaGreca. You think The Rock's promo was bad? I'm coming for you, Big Daddy. It's going to happen.
I mean, I don't know if there's anything really big on Dave LaGreca, but that's a story for another day. Let me just say this. In lieu of that challenge, I want to nominate myself, Yankee Tommy, as the special guest referee.
I love
this match.
I love
it. Unbiased, because you and I have our issues. We go to blows. There's no love lost. I love you, but there's no love lost. I will be a fair, impartial referee. And I think we can make this big. We can make this happen.
It could be
If Dave
huge
LaGreca,
for the belt.
Yeah, if he has the balls. But again, I don't know if he has those.
And I'm okay with us even having a lumberjack match. Bring Bully Ray, bring Mark Henry, bring Tommy Dreamer. I don't care to do that. I'll take a punch from all three of those guys. That's perfectly fine. I'll bump with them. That's fine because I respect all three of those guys.
Yeah,
I respect them. They're Hall of Famers. I respect that. But Dave LaGreca, you and I, we got to have a chat, brother. We got to have a chat. I'm coming for you, LaGreca. I am coming for you.
And with that, everybody, that is episode 2 of the Yankee Rebel Wrestlecast.
That is it. And for let's see. Let's go that way. There we go. Yankee Tommy, I am Rebel Brian, the destructor of Dave LaGreca.
Yeah.
And the absolute hater of Logan Paul. And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. Suck it. We'll see you next week, you bastards.
Woo!
Woo!